This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Looking for a great haircut or shave experience? Come to Champion Salon and Barber. Our skilled barbers and stylists are dedicated to giving you the best service possible. Whether you need a simple haircut or a complete grooming package, we have you covered. And while you're here, feel free to enjoy a complimentary beer and chat with our friendly staff. We have 2 convenient locations in Waco and Woodway, Texas. You can also book appointments online or through our app, making it easy to schedule your next visit. So why wait? Visit Champion Salon and Barber today and experience a cut above the rest.
Boobies.
Hello and welcome to
Boobies.
Boobies. That's right. We're your host. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we're in a funky setup.
Just a little different.
Funky now. I'm catty corner diagonal to you.
While you're usually right in
Diagonally.
front of me.
I know I can't look into your eyes.
Diagonally.
Diagonally.
Did he just say diagonally?
Huh? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? I
The
said
movie.
what you said.
Yeah.
We were both quoting Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
But you went on with the quote.
And we're back to, what are we back to?
We're watching we're back to our month Decades of Horror.
Decades of Horror.
Yeah, and we moved on to the 70s,
Yeah.
1975 to be
Because-
specific.
We went right through the 60s with one movie, which
Yep.
was
Psycho,
which
And-
started off 1960s.
Yeah. So
So-
we jumped 15 years.
15 years into the future.
That's okay.
Which
Still
is
part
really
of the
cool.
60s.
Yeah, no, it's actually just it's gonna create a really beautiful timeline of what
Horror.
we choose in horror and like how it elevates.
Yeah.
And evolves.
And today, if you didn't read the little note already, we're watching
Jaws.
Jaws. Dun it, dun it.
Yes, Jaws. Released in 1975, directed by none other
Then Sir Steven Spielberg.
Mr. Spielberg.
I don't know if he gets a sir in front of his name, but he did today.
He sure did.
The iconic music is by John Williams.
Who has, I believe he opened up with Steven Spielberg in the movie released previously before this. Steven Spielberg's first, and he kind of piggybacked and they helped each other throughout their careers on working on each,
On each other's films.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
well, him being
pieces of
hired
work.
by Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was released after being inspired and very much based on the 1974. That was a weird way of saying 1974 novel by Peter Benchley by the same name. Jaws. And I think it's pretty much speaks for itself. I think everybody who's anybody, if you haven't lived underneath a rock, knows what Jaws is.
Yeah.
You've heard of it, seen the memes.
You've seen the little kitty shirt that says pause.
Yeah.
And it's a kitty under the water
And
instead.
Like all of the references to the music and as well as, even the quotes like we need a bigger boat, stuff like that.
Or that's one bad hat, Harry.
Yeah, it's kind of everywhere.
What was that, Nickelodeon or is that Cartoon Network? That's one bad hat, Harry. It was like the ending sign off for one of the
I don't know.
one of the
their
animation
shows?
studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was on like every single. It was at the. I think it's Nickel. I said, what did I say first?
Either Nickelodeon or Disney
Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network.
or Cartoon Network.
Okay, I think it's Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like it would happen at the end of SpongeBob.
Ah, okay.
That's one bad hat, Harry.
I don't remember that,
Mm.
but
That's the most important line in this movie to me because of that ending.
well, that and because like you said, like we're saying, it's like they're all iconic and they've surpassed the tells of time.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. Jesus,
they really did because that was a big ass shark.
that shark got on there, broke the boat in half.
It's a pretty huge shark.
It went.
So
The boat looked like it was a toy boat
it really did
compared to that shark.
The shark was like, I mean, a 25-footer, what they were saying in there, but like also just, I think by comparison, I'm sure it's a lot bigger than what actual sharks would even be.
I think sharks do get that
They
big.
probably do. And I
don't
should know
know.
because I like sharks. I mean, they do get really huge.
Yeah.
They get really, really big.
I was interested to hear your
Oh, I
thoughts
love
on this
sharks.
because you love sharks. I, on the other hand, am terrified of sharks.
Well,
So this movie actually kind of scared me. I
was about to say,
jumped at one point.
the movie really does a great job of like producing that fear of like not knowing what's underneath you in the water because it's so dark and you can't see around you. And
When that one guy was trying to get back up onto the dock and he couldn't get his
yeah.
feet up fast enough, I was like, get your feet up, get your feet up.
Yeah. There's so many parts of
I was so
points in that
scared.
movie there's so many points in the movie like that. But as someone who really likes sharks, it actually just made me feel bad because then I'm just like, I can
That
see
poor
now it
shark.
just paints a bad light on sharks
Yeah.
when everybody's like in their territory. But without further ado, should we jump in?
Yes.
Yeah. So I really love how the movie already starts with like the famous like dun coming up, and we get some credits and a really quick title card. And then
super quick.
very quick, within like the first 30ish 40 seconds, and then it fades into nighttime, and we have a bunch of teenagers smoking and making out, and they're all around a campfire on the beach.
Yeah.
Very like summer vibes for sure.
Yeah. The nice. I've always wanted to do that, like gather around a campfire on the beach.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be really fun. Reminds me of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like that.
But it would be really fun. But
Without the murder.
Without the murder and also without a shark attack. Because as we see rather quickly, we get some dude. I never caught his name.
I never caught his name either, but he's chasing Christy.
Chrissy.
Chrissy, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Chrissy.
It is. My phone corrected it to Christy.
And she's like saying, we're going swimming and stuff like that. And he's chasing her while also like just drunk out of his mind.
Yeah.
He was barely...
He's barely functioning.
Yeah, he was barely able to form sentences. He was like, I'm coming. He kept saying I'm coming a lot. Coming.
And then
coming. Not come.
Coming. Yeah. And and then he also was saying I'm not drunk, as he's
I'm not
obviously
drunk.
very clearly drunk. But she's obviously, skinny dipping, so he wants to go join her.
She takes off her shirt and she was just running, and her
Her
titties were way too big to just be running willy-nilly like that. That shit hurts.
Does
Whenever I come down the stairs without a bra on,
and they're just flopping.
I hold them. Little shelves.
Yeah.
And my boobs aren't even that big.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
My boobs were not as big as hers. And she was just running. And they were like, flap, flap. And I was like, Jesus Christ, girl. Like, hold your titties.
I feel like that makes sense.
That's gotta hurt.
Because, like, yeah, if you're a guy and your balls are flopping around, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess that makes sense.
It's that same idea.
Yeah. Hello. And so we have her getting into the water. He's following after her, and she gets in, and she just like she goes far.
swims.
She goes far out there, and she's beckoning him to come in. But as soon as he reaches to like the shoreline, he basically just passes out because he's so
Yeah.
drunk.
He's like, I can swim. I just can't walk or undress myself. And
Yeah.
then just like
Literally knocks out
just
within a second.
plonks out. And she went out far. I was like, holy shit, how far out did she go?
She's next to one of those. What are those?
Buoys.
Buoys with the little thing, like a mini lighthouse type of
Yeah.
looking thing. I don't know. But she's out there and pretty fast up. We get some music. We already know what's about to happen, and we see underneath her there is what do you call that? Like the lens is facing her, so we see her feet kicking around.
Yeah.
And
we're getting
in
that from
a
underneath her.
POV, right?
Yeah, of the shark. Which is how we opened too.
Yeah.
When we were swimming through the aquatic stuff, I imagine we were the shark.
So we are the shark, the audience.
Yeah.
And we then see her
metaphor.
from the top part of the water,
Yeah.
and she obviously gets snagged by something because she's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then she gets kind of like bobbed around a little bit, almost like a little. What are those little buoys? I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like at first maybe it didn't hurt, like it like kind of like
brushed by her maybe or something, and that's why she was like, "Whoa."
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then it very quickly went to her screaming in agony.
Yeah.
And that's what was like, that guy is passed the fuck out to not have heard her like blood curdling screams.
Which could make sense. I've been passed out drunk before, and I would not probably wake up.
I'm dead to the world.
Literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For a few hours. And so she's getting thrashed around pretty violently. And as a moviegoer in the 1975, I would probably be terrified of this. This looks so
she's just getting
violent.
dragged.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like a rag doll almost. And so just think
her
of
body,
that.
very much was like a rag doll,
Yeah.
just being like, whoa.
All around. I thought it was pretty good effect. And then her screaming, kudos to that actress.
Yeah, scream queen.
And pretty much we just get a view of him asleep on the beach. She's getting attacked, and then she gets pulled under, and at that moment, she's a goner.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it fades to the next day, and we get to meet our protagonist of the film,
Chief Brody.
Chief Martin Brady. Brody, my bad. Brody. Yeah, my bad. Mm-hmm. And
I refer to him as Brody most of the time, and not
Martin. I just refer to him as Chief.
Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, that works too.
I just call him Chief a lot of the time.
Same with Hooper. I call him Hooper and not.
I called him Hooper as well.
Good.
Just Hooper. And then Quint.
I
just called him
Quint.
Fisherman.
Asshole fisherman guy.
Yeah. But we wake up with him. He gets out of bed with his wife, Mrs. Brody, and she's asking him, do you see the kids outside? And he doesn't see them. They must be out back. And he's like, they're not in the front yard, so they must be in the backyard. And then she's like, in Amity we say yard.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're up off the coast. Joyzy. I don't know how to. I can't do an accent to save my life. So all of that.
Yeah, yours was given a little southern.
Yeah.
I can't do this accent either to save my life. But yeah, and then he does that little kind of play on it. He's like out in the yard. The car.
With the boys in the car.
Yeah, something like that. You got to say your car keys.
Your car keys. Can I get some car keys?
Khakis.
Ooh. I'm gonna look up some YouTube videos on how to do these damn accents. Okay. And he gets a phone call while they're, doing their breakfast morning time thing. I don't even know if it's breakfast time, morning time, because they could have woken up and it's noon because the kids were already playing outside or something.
Yeah.
But he's on the phone and he's getting called over to go check something out. And before he heads out, Mrs. Brody is like, be careful, Chief, and he makes a little joke about in this town. And so he heads off and we get to the beach. And who do we meet on the beach, Miss Caitlin?
We meet the boy, the guy who was passed out drunk, who we don't have a name for. The yuppie who parents live in Greenwich and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he's saying did she drown? And he's basically saying I did my part. I notified you. But I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I don't have anything to do with this kind of thing. And then all of a sudden his deputy blows this whistle and then just kind of falls to the ground. And you can only assume at that point that he's found the body.
He found the body.
Yep. And that's what happened.
And a bunch of crabs.
Yeah, a bunch of crabs. And it was not even a body. It was just basically an arm.
Yeah.
An arm that had washed up to shore.
And
the rest of everything else was
kind of munched up.
Yeah. Pretty gone.
Yeah.
She was a pile of meat.
She literally was what's mulch, apparently.
Yeah.
But
she fit inside a bucket later on.
And so yeah, that's pretty grotesque. Imagine walking up on that and you haven't even had breakfast yet.
Pale.
Yeah. I don't know.
That actor did a good job in that moment.
I've thought of that a few times, not to be morbid, but what would I actually do if I saw a dead body? Because that's weird. Like, you think about it, you see it in movies, you see it in things, but then like to have an actual dead body right next to you, yeah, I don't know. I've never had that happen to me. Have you had that happen to you?
No,
No.
I've never, other than
Like,
funerals.
Yeah, but not like, or like someone like just like bloody and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully that never happens. But
Yes.
that's just crazy because
Yeah.
like our minds like aren't supposed to see that. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, that's so traumatizing.
It is.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
And so anyways, they are like, what the fuck? Oh my God, OMG. So at that point,
we head back to
the police department.
Yeah.
And we have his secretary, Miss Heidi, coming in.
Polly.
Polly? Is it Polly?
Yeah. He kept referring to her as Polly.
Oh,
that could be her last name.
Oh, I heard Heidi, but it could have been Polly.
My closed captioning said Polly.
Probably Polly. But anyway, she's telling him about all the shit about these 9-year-olds who are like wreaking havoc, doing taekwondo on people's
karate chopping.
Yeah, shit.
Someone's fence.
But at this point, he gets a call from the coroner, and he is telling him that it is a shark attack as he's putting it into his little typewriter.
Cause of death.
And
shark
so
attack.
he's telling his deputy, we need to, get some, where are the, close signs for the beach? And they're like, well, we've never closed a beach before. So he has to go to the hardware store to get some stuff to make signs for the beach. And at this point, it's kind of setting up that as well. While he's got this going on, it's like everybody in this damn town has a problem for him to try to fix.
Yeah.
That's all. As if like he's the beyond all, like he's the one who's going to fix everything for everybody. Yeah. Which is a lot of stress on the guy. So I can see how already he's like having to deal with all of these little things, but yet there's like an actual real problem going on. And also we come to see that like literally
the town doesn't give a fuck.
And nobody's trying to help him try to fix it.
Yeah. And as he gets out of the hardware store, he runs into his deputy who's like, Chief. Basically, Polly called and said that the Boy Scouts were out in the water doing their mile swim for their merit badge, which was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
We just saw a lady get eaten and now we're about to see a bunch of Boy Scouts get eaten. Like, oh, shit. The stakes are high.
Yeah, off the bat. And so he's like, gives the stuff to the deputy. He's like, here, you make the signs, get someone else, let Polly do the print,
the printing,
because your handwriting's probably bad. And then he takes off, but as he's taking off, we do see that the deputy ends up talking to the mayor and telling him like, hey, we're going to shut down the beaches because this and this is happening. And of course, as that's going on, we are catching up with Chief, and he is going out to go get the boys and reel them in from doing their mile swimming thing.
Yeah, to make sure they don't get dead.
Exactly. But when he's out there doing that, he gets met by the mayor, and the mayor is trying to tell him,
and
like,
also the coroner, and also the reporter.
Yeah.
Like the head of the newspaper, because you saw him walk out of the newspaper office earlier. So that's how.
And so
I clued in that
they
it was him.
All kind of gang up on him, and they're like, so we hear you're trying to close the beach, and you shouldn't do that because we need...
and as you see too, before then, you see that it's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Because there is a sign, like, because it sounded like there was a parade going on. There was like a drum line and a marching band that you could hear off in the distance. And as the deputy is talking with the mayor, you can see behind it says like annual 4th of July festival. And it was like, oh, good. It's 4th of July weekend. Like, this is bad.
And so they're going to have all these people coming in and all these tourists coming in, which is what the mayor is talking about, how it's a summer town and they have to make summer dollars. So as he's telling him this, and Chief is telling him, well, we have a shark attack happening. The mayor is like, well, the doctor is saying that it was a boating accident. And the coroner, is basically just saying like,
going back on his word.
Yeah, exactly. And saying that he will stand by it being a boating accident and not a shark attack. So they're doing everything in their power to try to keep the beach from closing down because they care more about dollars.
About money. Yep. Someone's dead, but mayor only worried about that money.
Yeah. And so we go now to the beach and we hear there, I don't know if it's either later in the same day or if it's another day, but the chief is there. He's with his family. We've got a bunch of other people on the beach. We hear some like locals talking about like, if you weren't born here, you're not an islander and all this stuff. And then we see a doggo.
Yeah, poor
playing.
doggo.
It's actually a really good swimmer out in the ocean, paddling out, playing.
Tippet is his name.
Fetch, Tippet.
Tippet.
And we also have the chief just kind of being very anxious and watching over everybody who's getting in the water. We see a kid that's paddling out on a I think his name is Alex. He's paddling out on his little yellow, what's that thing? A floaty?
A raft
floaty thing.
He came and asked his mom earlier, and he was like, please just let me spend like 10 more minutes out there. And his mom already was like, no, like your hands are pruned. And he was like, please, just 10 more minutes. And so he was like, let me get the raft. And so he went and got the raft and went back out there. And so little boy Alex is swimming.
Going out there swimming as well as like a whole bunch of other people, and it's kind of
all the kids basically got up and got into the water.
And we're getting like, it's really cool. So like in the water, we're getting what you would get with like when someone's opening a door or a cabinet or something and you think something's going to pop up, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because we're getting that in the water where the chief is looking and you think like there's a girl who's screaming and getting attacked by a shark, but it's because she's really getting picked up by her boyfriend playing chicken. And then we have another thing that looks like a shark fin, but it's just the top of someone's like cap, like a speedo cap thing as they're swimming.
And that's where we get the line, that's some bad hat, Harry.
And we have all of these things that are making him like stand up on the edge of his seat until and then for some reason some old man comes and talks to him with like old man boobs that's just sitting right in front of him.
That's the guy. Harry,
with the hat, with the bad hat. Okay, gotcha.
He's the one who looked like he was the shark fin out there in the water.
He was the one in the water? Oh, okay. I didn't
realize. He just came up and he had sat down to dry off and was talking
I didn't even realize
him.
That was him. Yeah. I must have been looking up and taking notes.
Because he popped up underneath that lady who was just floating there. Yeah. She was just like,
whoa.
And so, it was him who had come out of the water.
And so then quickly after this, we have Tippett. Tippett's gone missing.
Yeah, poor Tippett.
He's being called by its owner and he's not responding. And we see like the little stick that he was trying to get just floating in the water.
Yeah.
And then at this point, we get our music. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. And it's actually pretty cool.
Home run.
Because Alex just gets like snatched up by the shark.
With the raft, you're getting all that scene with the raft like flailing, and you're just seeing. And at first, like with the first kill, you didn't really see the blood in the water because it was like dusk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very late in the evening or very early in the morning.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Or in the middle.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
The sun was low.
Dark.
It was very dark.
Yeah. Dimly
but
lit.
you couldn't really see the blood in the water.
No.
But then now it's just bright red. Bright red is flooding the water. And then the contrast with the yellow raft and stuff too was really nice. And
you see the kid just getting like plopped up in the air.
Yep.
It was pretty cool because it was like almost like slow motion, but not slow motion in a sense.
Yeah, it felt slow motion with those kids running to get out of the water and stuff, and the parents all rushing in to grab their kids.
Yeah.
It almost, because just the anticipation and everything that it builds up, it felt like it was a slow-mo moment. Like if that was happening to me in real life, I feel like I would, it'd be that feeling where like you're running through like molasses or something where you're just like
you're moving too slow
in your dreams and you can't run fast enough kind of thing. Like
on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And so poor Alex gets ate up. All these kids run off. All the parents are like, getting their kids, except for Alex's mom as she's on the edge of the sea and she's like calling out Alex. And we realize that he is not coming up because his little raft washes up with blood all over it.
Yeah.
And so we now are moving over where I guess we're down by the town hall or something because we have like a reward for the shark being talked about, $3,000 to get the shark. We have all the townsfolk coming into a room, and we have the mayor, some people from earlier, the chief coming in, some lady that owns like a hotel, and a few other people who are up at the front row talking and conversing. And we get some silly jokes.
They're making awfully light of the situation, and it's just like, oh my God, you guys. And then one of them was like, it wasn't a shark. And I was like, what the fuck else would that be?
Yeah. They're really trying to like
it's a fucking shark.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Y'all witnessed a child. And y'all are still worried about the money?
I think for probably at that point still, yeah. I mean, it seems like
they
especially because they have their whole investments and everything wrapped up in the tourism and stuff. I'm like, I can see why they're so like, what's the word? Not blindsided, but like have the blinders.
Tunnel
like they're
vision.
just like, yeah, tunnel vision. Yeah. But they're going in, they're talking, and they're basically asking Chief Brody, like, what's the plan of action? And they're trying to cut to the chase, especially the one hotel lady. She's like, are you or are you not going to close the beach? And he's like, yes, I want to close the beach. We want to close it. I want to call some guy from the national whatever.
Oceanographic.
Yeah, and he's going to help us fix it. But then the mayor throws in, oh, yeah, it's only going to be for 24 hours because, you know, the people are getting heated. And then
someone yells, 24 hours is like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they're being awfully dramatic, very dramatic, because we get even more dramatic with some nail scratching on the chalkboard.
God, it was such a long shot of those nails on the chalkboard. My skin was like all
curling up.
Yeah.
Twitching.
Goosebumps everywhere.
Yeah.
Like chill up my spine. And it was just like, ugh, and it wouldn't stop. It just kept, every time I thought it was like, eek, it was like, eek.
It's not a fun noise.
And I was like, please stop.
No. And then he had like a little picture up there. So all I'm imagining is like,
shark.
He was literally just like
drawing
doing this, like, oh shit, they're about to, okay. And here's my moment. Like, that's talk about drama.
Yeah.
That was a theater kid for sure.
His name's Quint.
And so
what kind of name is that?
It's theater kid name. That's what it is. Sounds like someone who would be on Glee. And so they are looking at him. They're all like, what the fuck? And so he's like, basically like that, you know, seafaring guy who is all about, you know, killing the fish and like propping them up like trophies and like,
he's a hunter.
Yeah, I'll catch your fish for 10,000 smackaroonies.
Yeah, but and for reference, the mom of Alex had offered up a $3,000 reward for anyone who can get the shark.
Yeah.
And he was like, I won't do it for 3,000, but I'll catch him and kill him for 10,000. Like 10K by myself.
Yeah. No help. Nobody needed. Just me.
Yep. Just me. And he was like, and I'll get your fish, but only for 10,000, nothing less. He was like, I'll take the 3,000 to go look for the shark, but 10,000 is what you'll pay me once I get it.
And so even the mayor's like, we're going to think about that.
Yeah.
Because I get it, a lot of money. And even I guess back then, I'm sure that was a lot of money. And so at that point, he walks away and they're just kind of like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just the town hall meeting's over and they're putting signs up about closing the beach and they're out there trying to make sure people don't get in the water. And at this point, we get back with Chief and he's at home and he's trying to learn more about these damn sharks. But Mrs. Brody is over here just trying to get him liquored up so she can fuck him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ellen.
She's like, you want to get drunk and fool around?
Yeah. That made me laugh.
Which I'm like, yeah, but like there are kind of more pressing matters at hand right now, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when their fucking child is out on the fucking boat in the ocean.
Yeah, I know.
Literally.
Because then she was like, little Michael's enjoying his present. And he was like, what do you mean? And then he was like, Michael, get out of that boat. And then the kid responds with just a little bit longer in the most Jersey accent ever.
Longer.
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah. And she was so chill. And she was like, what's the matter with you? As if she had not just seen a child getting like
mauled. Literally
just a couple hours ago. Like, so, and real quick, back in 1975, $10,000 was an equivalent. Oh, shit. Of $56,000. Damn. Okay, so I can see why they were like, hold up. That's a lot of money. We'll just get someone else to get the shark.
Yeah.
That's wild. Wow. $56,000 was 10,000.
That's a lot.
Like, I would wish I could take some money and then just go back in time. But then no. Because I would be persecuted.
Did you know you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee? I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned the bottle around to actually see what's inside. When I did, I found out many of my favorite creamers contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, dipotassium phosphate, ew, and artificial flavors. Laird Superfood all started when big wave surfer Laird Hamilton needed morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. He couldn't find anything in the market that met his ingredient standards, so made himself the ultimate plant-based creamer. Laird Superfood started and launched its first product, Original Superfood Creamer, in 2015. Laird Superfoods contain no artificial flavors, colors, or additives, and no sugars from highly refined corn syrup. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. All Laird products are also made of all-natural whole food ingredients, and they are crafted from the highest quality all-natural real food ingredients. Are you ready to feel more energized, focused, and supported? Go to lairdsuperfood.com and add nourishing plant-based foods to fuel you from sunrise to sunset. Use our promo code BOO at checkout to save 15% off your purchase today.
I love smoothies, but I don't love smoothie bar prices. With my BlendJet 2 portable blender, I can make smoothie bar quality beverages for a fraction of the price. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. There are also over 30 plus colors to choose from. I myself chose black because it matches the color of my soul. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code BOO12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to this quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code BOO12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue? I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, and brain fog. But luckily, there's a solution. Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes and glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt, and is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO, making it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions or preferences. The packets are convenient and easy to use. Just mix with water and drink. They're perfect for on the go, travel, or anytime you need a quick and effective hydration boost. Hydration is more than just drinking water. That's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. Lauren founded Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydrating easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they use only the highest quality plant-based ingredients and avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. Ready to combat dehydration? Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use code BOO for 20% off your order.
Are you tired of the same old boring puzzles? Mix things up with Wongo puzzles. Each puzzle is a custom design with intricate patterns and whimsical shapes that will keep you engaged for hours. Plus, their eco-friendly materials and commitment to sustainability make Wongo puzzles a guilt-free way to unwind. Wongo puzzles are 100% wooden puzzles, meaning they'll last forever. Each piece is hand-drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun, whimsy pieces as you work through it. They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. With stunning design and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. So what are you waiting for? Go to wongopuzzles.com and pick your puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code BOO and get 10% off of your order. This is the most fun you've had with a puzzle guaranteed or your money back. Go to Wongo, WONGO, puzzles.com and use the code BOO to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. Wongo. And then after Michael's in his boat, basically, we're with these two guys whose names Charlie is one of them. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy's name I definitely didn't get. But
I just called them Fisherman.
Charlie's the one who gets dragged into the water.
Yeah.
But basically one of them has taken their wife's roast for the holiday weekend and they're going to like use it to like chum the water. And they're tying it to this life preserver to try and get the shark
to take a bite of it.
Little do they know
that it's a big ass shark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're doing that, and the shark does take a bite of the bait.
Because that roast is on the move.
Yeah.
You see the buoy going, or it was like a life preserver.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it starts getting dragged away.
And they're like, oh my god, it's a fucking shark. But at the same time, I don't know, why did the whole thing break?
They had it tied the
right?
chain. They had the
To
chain
it, yeah.
tied to the post of the pier.
Yeah, and so the whole pier just fucking like gets pulled into the ocean.
Yep.
And of course, poor Charlie is on the fucking like piece of wood, very like Titanic, very Rose on the door.
Yeah.
And just getting pulled into the ocean. And it's a pretty fast shark because he gets drugged pretty far out, because his friend is able to swim back up and get onto the dock pretty fast, but he's got a good swim until he gets back.
Yeah.
And we already see that the wood dock pier, it's turned around and it's following him.
Yep, which was like, oh god. And then
which, you know, that it's even closer, the shark's closer than because it's getting dragged behind. Yeah, that's so scary.
Which was like, oh god.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was just like, swim, motherfucker, swim.
Yeah, once it turned around, I was like, uh-oh. And then basically his friend's like, I'm not going to tell you, like, don't look back, Charlie, but swim as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like trying to grab Charlie's hand, and he's barely making it out of the water in time.
Yeah.
His feet are just like right there.
Dangling.
So close to just being chum.
And thankfully he is able to get up though, and it was just close enough though. Like that part, I actually thought, I was like, oh shit, he's goner, but no.
Yeah, I thought he was at least gonna lose a leg.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good moment, I feel like, in the film where it really paid off for them to like give us just like but then okay, he didn't get eaten. Yeah, because
this one didn't die.
It was just enough to like get all my chemicals like going, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The tension.
This one made me made my like toes curl.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Sure
where
did.
I was just like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And so
sharks are scary, y'all.
They're very scary. They're very fast. They're very big. They got a lot of teeth.
Not like they were in Shark Tale. Let me tell you.
Yeah, fish are food, not friends.
Destiny,
people are food, and so we are now back at the docks, and I think at this point, people are coming in, right?
Basically everyone's shown up to catch this shark because of the $3,000 reward.
Mm-hmm.
Like the media guy was trying to cover it up in the town, but she's like posted it to every like the Washington Gazette or something. You know, not they're in the Jersey area, but she's posted it in all of the news forms. And
they're overloading the boats with too many men, and they've got too much equipment, and the chief is trying to like tell them to stop. You're going to get yourselves killed. Don't go out there.
Yeah.
But he's having a hard time wrangling these people and keeping them calm, keeping them chill. And at the same time,
because they're just like pouring in.
Yeah.
Like every single pier had a boat docked to it.
Yeah.
Some of them had two.
But with like 10 men, like, there's so many guys.
They were like, put the road closed sign on the highway. Like, we need to stop people from coming in to the city. Like, because there's already too much of them. We can't handle this.
And so at the same time, Mr. Matt Hooper is coming in.
Yep.
He's trying to meet with the chief. And so he's talking to the chief, and he's, trying to talk to everyone, and he's trying to ask questions. He's trying to get directed to Chief Brody. Little does he know that he's been talking to him the whole time. But they get into this little fucking shack on the pier.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, where's Brody? And he's like, well, I'm Brody. And he's like, well, I'm Hooper. And he's like, I'm the oceanographic.
He's like, yeah, I'm from the Oceanographic Institute.
Yeah. And so all these fuckers are out here trying to catch this motherfucking shark. Mm-hmm. And they're all on their little boats.
Doggies on their boats.
Yeah.
That are just like.
It looked like some of them had like dynamite.
Yeah, some of them did have dynamite. Yeah. They literally like blew up the water.
Literally. And it looks like they're almost about to like crash into each other's boats. Like if the shark's not going to kill them, they're going to kill each other because they're being very reckless. And so this is
the guy almost blew up another boat.
Yeah.
Whenever he tossed a stick of dynamite back, there was a boat like rather
2
close.
feet away.
Yeah.
And then the other ones that almost like hit each other. There's a lot. It's a big mess.
I was just like, it's chaos.
Yeah. And so we are back with Hooper and Chief is just letting Hooper look at the body with the coroner and
of the young girl,
Miss Chrissy. And he comes in, pulls out his glasses and his little tape recorder, and he gets straight to the matter, and it's funny because whenever he like takes a look at the body, he like very quickly is like thrown, what's the word? Like he's like disturbed.
Yeah, he looked rather squeamish.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. Like very Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. Just like, ugh, this is disgusting. For what it was, he was
like, he needed water. He was like trying to describe it. He seemed very emotionally affected by what he was looking at.
Yeah. He did a good job of like kind of transferring from like he kind of shook it off and then went into the like medical jargon and stuff. And he did a good job of like pronouncing everything. And then he had to like take a step back and was like putting his face in the water, and he says, "This is no boat accident."
No boat accident. As he's like,
you fucking idiots.
Because obviously the coroner was trying to cover it up, and the coroner even himself over there, you can tell he's looking like dismayed. He's looking very like, oh, I've been found out. And so
he was paid off.
Oh yeah. And so Mr. Hooper obviously is, this is a very serious matter. He's like, you've got a big fish out there, and this is a problem. So
the bite radius or whatever.
At the same time that this is all going on, we have the people that were out fishing. They apparently caught a fucking shark. They did catch one, and we get a really nice pan on it.
Tiger shark.
It's a tiger shark. It's very big.
It was very big. Rather large.
Yeah. And at this point, they're basically saying, all right, that's it. That's done. We've got it. Problem solved. They're taking pictures with it. They're trying to get it into the media. The mayor's really trying to get it blown up like, hey, this has been, caught. We're done.
Come swim in our waters.
Literally.
We're fine. Yeah.
And I love whenever they're asking, like, what kind of shark is that? And then Hooper's like, it's a tiger shark. And then they're like, a what?
A what?
A what? It's a what? Yeah. They're very funny.
It was.
And so, yeah.
Hooper's up there, like, measuring the teeth and stuff.
As they're trying to take the picture?
Yeah. And he then comes over to Brody, and he was like, the bite radius is different from the wounds on the victim, basically. Like,
does not match.
Isn't, he was like, you caught a shark, yes.
The glove does not fit.
Yeah.
You must acquit.
That's right.
Basically. But not OJ. And he's basically saying, he's like, it's 100-1 that this is the shark that actually attacked Chrissy, because it just doesn't line up. It doesn't match. And so like, it's putting a lot of doubt into Brody.
And he was like, the only sure way to tell is like these creatures have a very slow digestive system.
Yeah.
It's like 24 hours. And so he was like, the only for sure way to tell is to cut this puppy open, basically.
And find out.
And Brody's like, I don't want the little kitten or kid
to fall out
on the
and
which is like that's fair.
It's fair. And because the mayor is also very apprehensive about that. But as they're trying to discuss that, everything kind of gets sidelined because Alex's mom comes up and is like, in her whole little, morning garb, very all in black. I guess it was the day of the funeral, or I don't know. But she's just choosing to wear this, I guess, to make a statement. But she walks up and she slaps the fuck out of the chief as if he was the shark or something. And he's like,
I was like, don't slap him. It's the mayor who made him keep it open.
Because he wanted to keep it closed. And so I just felt bad for the chief that he was getting blamed for shit that like wasn't even his fault.
Definitely the mayor's fault.
Yeah. And so at this point, even the mayor was just like, oh, I'm sorry, she was wrong. And he was like, no, she was right. And she should have slapped you. He didn't say that, but he should have.
But he should have.
Yeah. And so she's just like, my boy is dead and all this, being dramatic. And I mean, I get it, but also like, damn, like, you ain't got to go around slapping people just because your son died, but like whatever. And so anyways,
because she was like, I heard that there was a shark attack just last week.
And you knew about it.
Basically, and you didn't do anything.
What?
And it was like, he tried.
Yeah.
He definitely tried. Y'all don't know that because they've been trying to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly thought like she should have been eaten too by the shark at that point. But I don't know why I was so mad. I think it's just because like I honestly just felt really bad for the chief. Like he was really trying. And like for him to be blamed for that, I'm like, damn. And then especially because the lame ass mayor was just like there next to him. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm pointing over there. But the lame ass mayor was just right there. And then, so anyways, I digress. Okay, anyways, so we get past that. And we're back at
the
two fishermen,
or not Hooper's house, Brody's house.
Oh yeah, trying to have dinner.
Yeah, and the little boy's like copying his father. Basically, every time that Brody puts his hands like onto his face and stuff, his little son is just copying him. And I was like, I would lose my shit
if someone was doing that.
Yeah, if I was having such an emotional day and like,
I think he was so out of it that he didn't even notice that until like the end.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
But he handled it so much better than I would have. Whenever he was just like makes a funny face at him and stuff, and I was like, okay. You're a better person than me, because I would have been like, all right, you little shit.
Yeah.
That's why I can't be a mom.
It would have snapped.
Yeah.
That's okay. You like the Evil Dead Rise mom.
Yeah.
And so he asked for, a little kiss from his son, just to, give him some endorphins, make him feel better. And then Hooper shows up, and he's got like 2 bottles of wine. He's like, I would love to talk to, Brody, and the wife is like, oh, I would too.
Yeah, which I thought was funny.
He's been very quiet, and he's been in his feelings.
Yeah, he's just been like in a trance, and Hooper sits down and immediately is like, is anyone eating this? And just takes fucking
starts eating their food.
Which I assume was
really ballsy.
Was Brody's Chief Brody's dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously wasn't eating it though.
Yeah, I know, but I was still like, damn, Hooper, who the fuck are you? You just ballsy. Met this guy.
I mean, I don't know, because he's like a rich kid, quote unquote. So I don't know if that was
probably
very like a little privilege and entitlement.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, he starts to eat the food, and he starts getting, the wife starts asking him questions,
Like, you're in sharks?
You're in sharks, and it kind of breaks, the ice a little bit, a little laughter. And he gets to explaining on how, he got into the sharks when he was little, and he got attacked by a thrasher shark. And it basically, instilled a lot of fear in him, but more so sparked the curiosity in learning about these creatures. And that's just what he's been doing ever since. And they pour some wine, because at this point, Hooper is like, you know what? I'm going to be leaving soon, but I have to tell you that your shark problem is not over. You still have it.
Yeah.
That was not the same shark. And
you caught a shark,
I know it.
Not the shark. And we're only going to know if we cut this thing open.
Yeah.
And he goes on describing like territoriality and how this shark has gone rogue, and basically because typically sharks travel in packs, right?
Not that I know.
They don't. Well, then why would this one have gone rogue?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like from what I've learned. Well, I feel like from what I've learned, not all sharks are different. There's so many different species of sharks.
Yeah.
Some of them have like more of a pack, but not necessarily. No, all sharks are just basically by themselves. There's not like I think this is like very 1975 knowledge that we're going off of.
Yeah.
But
anyways, this shark has apparently gone rogue, whatever that might mean. And the territoriality basically means that it's going to keep feeding until the food supply is gone. So the more people keep getting in there, the more shark attacks they're going to have. More people going to die. And then he was like, I want to cut open this shark basically to see solitary animals. Cool. Yeah.
And so, yeah, exactly. So at this point, the chief is just like, let's have a few more drinks and let's go cut that baby open.
Because he says, I can do anything. I'm the chief of police. I roll.
Yep. I roll very much. But in this movie, it works.
Yeah, it does.
It
works in our favor.
At least he's good. He's using it for the good.
Yeah.
And so they are at the docks, and they are opening up the shark.
They're gutting this motherfucker.
Gutting it. All the
stuff
ooze,
coming white.
The white comes out of it. Yeah.
Must have been so stinky.
Shark cum. It's just going everywhere. And then they get what? There's like some fish in there, a half a fish, a whole fish, and then they pull out what really
like
helps them out.
A
tin can is that they find out, or what gives them a hint of where the shark came from, is that they pull out a Louisiana plate. And so we know that tiger sharks, well, if you don't know, tiger sharks are both saltwater and freshwater sharks. So they can travel in rivers, they can go, so basically inland. And so that's why it swam probably from the Gulf Coast of Louisiana and went all the way into the river system and ended up coming out over there where they were.
Yeah, they said it went upstream or something.
Yeah,
and
through the river system because someone probably threw that plate into a river. And so, yeah, the more you know. There could be a tiger shark in the Brazos River.
No, thank you.
They're big too. They're huge.
Yeah, this one was pretty massive.
And tiger sharks are pretty aggressive, but not as aggressive as lemon sharks.
Lemons?
They're very aggressive.
What about a hammerhead?
Not aggressive. Not that aggressive. They're very docile. They're actually very chill. They just like want their food and
not to
be bothered.
I also know great white shark.
Great white sharks.
And tiger shark.
Tiger shark. Great white shark is actually pretty chill as well. It's like really aggressive, but like, I mean,
but not like a lemon shark.
Yeah. Like,
what does a lemon shark look like?
A lemon shark is very yellow. It's got like.
I want to see. Please show me a lemon shark. I feel like maybe I have seen a yellow shark before, so maybe I've seen one.
Yeah, they're like a yellowy, greeny, brown color.
Yeah.
But they're very mean.
Grumpies. Grumpy gills.
And then there's a whale shark, of course. They're just so pretty.
Whoa. That's a real shark?
The whale shark? Yeah.
That's what it looks like?
They're very beautiful. They're pretty.
Wow, spotted.
And they don't eat meat.
Oh, they're vegetarian.
Yeah,
Fish are friends, not
krill. They eat like krill and stuff. Oh, so I guess that's technically meat, but pescatarians, yes.
That's all.
They just open their mouths up wide,
just like a whale.
And then they come in. Yep, and then gets caught in their baleen.
Cool.
Okay,
I love that. This was Shark Week with Joshua. But basically, they decide that they're going out on the water now. And because clearly this was not their shark, and they have to find it. And so while they're out there, and we've at this point in time also discovered that Chief Brody has a great fear of the water. It was kind of alluded to earlier, but it wasn't. The wife. Yeah, but it wasn't made certain until this moment where he basically was like, I haven't had enough drinks to go out on the water. Yeah, like I'm not drunk enough for this. And
so they get more drunk.
Yeah, they get more drunk. They get that second bottle of wine, it looks like, and they go out onto the water.
They're out on the boat
hunting for the shark,
and then they're going into its feeding grounds, its territory. We learn that Hooper. This is where we learn that Hooper comes from money. He basically like owns and bought a lot of this stuff that they're using.
Boat was
his
super
equipment.
High tech.
Yeah,
and it was super nice.
Yeah. And then they pick up the shark on his high tech like sonar system thing,
little fish finder.
And very much like almost felt like a submarine type of style. Bleep, bleep. Yeah. Bleep. And so they're coming across a fisherman's boat after they see like, a floaty, what are those things? A barrel that's floating in the water. And then they come upon a boat and they're like, Chief is like, I recognize that. It's someone's boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write down the name.
And so they're going out there. They're trying to get closer to it. They notice that it's just like fucked up and they see that there's like a bite on the side of it. So what does Hooper want to do?
Go into the water like a fucking dummy to check the hull of the boat.
And he's like, don't worry, nothing's going to happen.
I was
anything could happen.
You're going into shark infested waters. And you said it was feeding time for this shark.
And it's territorial.
Yeah.
Like all of these things, but
seems like it goes against.
It goes very much like at this point, Hooper feels like he's very like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm going to be okay. Yeah. Which I mean, he is the most, I would say, with the
knowledgeable,
but like also I feel like that also gets to a point with him where like his ego is now like, I'm invincible. But he's in the water. He's trying to get to the bottom side of the boat because at this point I didn't realize what he was doing, but he wants to take a look at the bite mark that's on the boat at the bottom of it. And I'm assuming that he thought that there was going to be or could have been a tooth on it. And he was right. There's a tooth. So he gets a tooth. But as soon as he gets it and he's trying to look back into the hole, there's a body that pops out.
Yeah.
Very what's that fish that came out of the keyhole? The deep house. Good Lord. That popped out.
It made me jump. This is where I jumped.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
I was like,
it was a really good jump scare.
It was.
Because he drops like the flashlight. He almost drops the tooth, I think, but doesn't.
He does.
Did he?
He drops the tooth in that moment.
Okay. Yeah. I guess everything, right?
Yeah.
And so then he swims up and he's coming up. At this point, I thought maybe he was going to get eaten because he was just there waiting a little too long for me with his feet in the water still on the ladder. But it just transitions to a whole nother thing. Yeah. Yeah. But
basically they're...
go for it.
Oh. Basically, they're up on the hill now talking with the mayor, and they're trying to explain the severity of the situation and saying like,
it's a great white shark.
It's a great white shark. We haven't caught the shark. Yeah. You can't open these beaches. These people are going to die.
And especially because he knows what kind of shark it is now. He's like, this is aggressive. This is big. This is huge. Like, this is like a killer machine. This is all it does. Like, you're basically just, either we stop its food source or we stop it. And what you're willing to do is just literally just put yourself, he's like, this guy is wanting to be a hot meal ticket or something.
Yeah. And you're going to make yourself a hot lunch. And and they basically said, you're going to let those people in the water and you're basically ringing the dinner bell.
Mm-hmm. And they're having a really big heating of exchange of words.
And the mayor is hearing none of it. And I can't help but like just agree with Hooper whenever he just starts laughing and like disbelief. And he was just like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, what the actual fuck?
Because like at that point it's just hot air, he can't reason with the man who's being unreasonable. And then the mayor, the only thing that he can care about is their like what's it called, those things, like the billboard for their town, a welcoming board.
Someone had defaced it,
and put like a shark on it and all this stuff, and
help a shark.
And so the mayor was just like, talking to the chief, like, I care more about like you find these people and you hang them up and you get them in trouble for this, as opposed to like fixing the shark problem. And so the mayor is being an asshole. Hooper is not getting listened to, and then at this time we transition over and it's the 4th of July weekend, and at this point we see that all these people are just coming in droves. There's a ferry, there are people coming over off of the boats, and like
they're literally coming in by the boatload.
Yeah, literally. And they have no help. At this point they were supposed to get help to show up for the 4th of July weekend, and nobody showed up to help them out.
Yeah, we see one new looking officer person, but it's not nearly enough the amount that they need.
There's like, I'm sure thousands and thousands, if not 100,000 people there that showed up. I'm not being dramatic. That was so many people.
There were so many people that, like we said, they were literally coming in by the boatload.
That's so scary.
It was massive amounts of people.
And so we're at the beach. We got a shit ton of people there. We've got a news anchor broadcasting,
a cloud in the shape of a killer shark
over this.
That made me laugh
summertown.
So much.
Yeah, very dramatic.
It's like,
and all the kids just like, hi, waving into the camera. And so everybody's on the beach. Nobody's getting on the water. So we have the mayor going to this one dude who he knows, and he's just like, why aren't you in the fucking water? And then he's like, well, I'm trying to tan. And he's like, can you get in the water? Because nobody else is. And if they see you, then they'll get in.
They'll know it's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, you get in the water, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. And so
fucking put yourself out there.
They do end up taking their family into the water. So what does everybody else do? They follow suit. Everybody's getting in the water. At this point, we have a whole bunch of boats and people like all on the ocean, like on the outskirts, keeping guard, keeping
patrolling.
Watch. And we have the chief on the beach talking into a walkie-talkie and really trying to keep things low key and chill. But yet at the same time, there's a fucking shark in the water that they know about.
Yeah.
Like,
which was like, how can you just let all these people go? But whatever.
Because it's like, because they have guns pointing towards the water.
Yeah.
Harpoons, all this shit.
And you think that maybe people would see that and go,
maybe I won't. Maybe I'll skip the beach today.
Yeah, maybe I'll just lay on the beach.
Or just not be there at all.
Or like go right, just put my toes in.
I don't know, something. But all that's going on at this point.
Michael comes up with his boat.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And the chief asks him to put his boat in the pond, which is like, I guess, this sort of little bay kind of area.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Goes off to the side.
That would probably be very shallow, where he would think like, oh, there wouldn't be like a shark over there or something.
Yeah, it would be safe. He was like, that's where the old ladies go. And he was like, okay, well, today be an old lady, basically.
For your old man.
Yeah. He was like, go out there, just put the boat over there and not in this main water here. Yeah. Which ends up being a mistake.
Really does, because we go back to the main beach where everyone else is at, and even me, I'm like, oh shit, it's a shark, because we see a fin coming up.
Yeah, I was like, it's literally right there. Literally. It's right there.
Yeah, and it's amidst all these people, but we get, once again, POV shots of where the shark would be looking at the people, and everybody's like, oh my God, a shark.
Also, yeah, that like lifeguard that was on the podium. Yeah. You could like totally see his like nutsack.
Oh, you could? I didn't catch it.
You could like see up his shorts.
I didn't even catch that.
I'm pretty sure it looked like that to me. I was like,
you saw a scrotum?
A scrotum.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, maybe wow. It was like his underwear balled up in a weird way, but I was like, that looks like a pair of testicles.
It's 1975. Honestly, it could have been.
Yep.
I don't think people wore underwear as much back then.
Yeah.
And so this is all happening. We have people screaming shark like bloody murder. And so they're trying to clear out the beach. Everybody's running off the beach. People are getting trampled.
Yeah, they're like
old people are getting trampled. Kids are being dragged out of the water. There is a mother just holding her child, paralyzed, screaming in the water, not moving.
I was like, okay, lady. I was like,
bitch, move it along.
You're going to get eaten first.
And it's a 2-for-1 meal. Yeah. And so all this shit is happening, and we see that it was a fucking hoax, because these two little kids had this fin, and they come out of the water and these guns are pointed at them. They should have just shot them, to be honest. It would have just probably been better. And like it would have thickened the plot a bit and thickened the water with the blood. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. They're like, oh shit, it's a hoax, like whatever. But then we have this girl, and she starts screaming, shark in the pond. Shark is in the pond. And the chief is like, even at this one, like, well, what now? And so he doesn't even like. At first, I like how he's just kind of like walking, like whatever. But then, like as she's screaming more, he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like starts running. And he's like,
because
oh, crap.
He also runs into Ellen and his wife, and she basically is like, "Michael's in the pond," and he was like, "Oh fuck, that's right. I told him to go over there," and that's when he starts actually booking it.
Yeah, and so we do see the shark. It's pretty huge, and
it's massive.
It's in the pond. And at this point, the boys are over there. Mike's in the water with his friends. We have this other dude who's like paddling up to them in a little boat. And the little brother that I don't remember the name. Did you ever catch his name?
No, I only got Michael's name.
He is on the sand, so he's chill. But that shark is gunning it for the dude in the boat, and he knocks his boat over, and he starts getting attacked.
We see a leg drop down.
Gets a whole ripped off from him.
It looked good.
And
it was really good little practical effects.
And I'm assuming that man got eaten up, the rest of them, because he never resurfaces.
Yeah, I think he's dead.
Yeah, we see that Michael gets drug up onto the beach. He's in shock because he's passed out. And even the mom's like, oh my God, he's dead. And the dad's like, no, he's in shock. They take him to the hospital. The doctor is like, or the nurse like, he had mild shock. He'll be okay. He'll get to leave tomorrow.
Which I was like, man, a hospital keeping you overnight for
mild shock.
I
was like, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But maybe because he's a kid.
Oh yeah, true.
And so he, the mom's asking him like, what can I bring you? And he's like, my cards. And she's like, you want some ice cream? He's like, no, I want coffee, which is like, what the fuck? But
yeah, this little kid.
I guess you give a little kid whatever he wants after he's been attacked by a shark.
Yeah.
And then it's, the mayor and the chief have a little face to face, because the mayor even like, he can't even look at the chief in the face because he's like ashamed, like that he put his child in danger and put all these people in danger. Put his own children in
danger. Mm-hmm. Like, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah. And now it's come back to bite him in the ass, just like Hooper said it would.
Yeah.
And basically Brody's saying like, no, you're going to sign this paper. We're hiring Quint. He's going to kill the shark. Yeah. Because fuck this. So I'm tired of it.
We got to get it over with. Yeah.
And so he signs the paper, and then he lights up a cigarette, which I was like, yo, the 70s smoking in a hospital.
For real.
But then we're with Quint.
Yeah, and they're out in the docks. They're getting everything set up. Quentin is explaining, like, I just want it to be me, my man, whatever. This is what I need. He's explaining that they need to buy him dinner and all this, buy him drinks.
$10K a day, or $10K. $200 a day, even if he doesn't catch something. 2 cases of apple brandy and dinner when he gets back.
Yeah,
basically, is what he says, which was like, damn.
Yeah, makes him take some shots. He's like, here's just swimming with bow-legged women, which I was like, okay.
I don't
that
get
mean
it.
Mermaids? I don't know. And so, yeah. And then at this point, we have Quint meeting Hooper, and Quint is very much like trying to they're
having like a dick measuring contest.
Very much that. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know how to describe it, but that is literally what they were doing. Yeah. You're right.
It reminds me of Crimson Peak when he's like, my hands are rough, your hands.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a day's work or whatever.
I remember that.
Because he's basically saying, like, you've got city hands, boy. Like, your hands haven't done anything. You don't know what it's like to go out there and catch this shark. You may know about sharks, but you haven't lived it. You don't know what it is to catch one, kind of thing.
Who was in Crimson Peak? Tom Hiddleston, that girl, and who else? What was the other guy?
Bobby from Supernatural. But I forgot his name.
Okay, I'll have to look it up later.
Mia Wasikowski.
Yeah, Mia. Tom Hiddleston. Was there only one guy? Just Tom? No, there was 2 guys. No, there wasn't. There was just Tom Hiddleston.
No, there was 2 guys. There was
her lover,
the guy who was interested in her.
That's right. Okay,
Tom Hiddleston was her lover.
Yeah. That's where I was like getting confused. Okay, sorry. And so they're getting ready to get the boat ready. At this point, they're getting stuff on it. Hooper brings his anti-shark cage.
Yeah.
And
Which
Quint is like singing to him farewell. Yeah. Well, what? Why? Oh no, what?
Because of the shark cage.
Oh yeah, I already thought like that's a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's not going to be good.
That's not going to go well later on in the movie. I can tell.
I was already like, yep, nope. And so
it looked flimsy AF. Oh yeah, and turns out it was flimsy AF.
Well, especially because like it was like a collapsible shark cage. Like if it's collapsible already, I feel like that's not a good thing.
No,
like, it's not sturdy enough.
That's an IKEA shark cage.
It's like a crate, like a dog crate.
Yeah.
Not good. And so we have the chief saying goodbye to his wife. She's obviously a little like, what should I tell the kids? And
I can't believe Brody's going along.
Oh, well, because of his fear and all of that? Yeah. But I feel like his duty as chief is, he's like, I got to do this.
But I was just like, oh my God, he's actually going. Because at first I thought just Hooper was going to go.
And not drunk.
Yeah. And then he decides to go too. And I was like, oh, okay.
And so they end up getting out. They're out on the boat. They're fishing for a good while. We're getting some talk between them. But finally, they do end up catching something on their line. And at this point, that's...
Because, they've been chumming the waters.
Chumming them around, trying to get into trying to get the sharky. But he finally takes a bite, and they're like, it's on the line. And I think Hooper's the one that's, he's like, it's not a shark. It's not this. And then Quinn is like, it is the shark. And then at some point, the line goes underneath the boat. Yeah. And he's like, I think it went under the boat.
It's a smart big fish.
Mm-hmm. And Hooper is still like, it's not a shark, but
he's like maybe a what did he say? Like a barracuda or
one of those
stingray?
I thought a spearfish. Did he say that at one point? Maybe.
Did he say man?
Swordfish. Yeah. And so a narwhal. Is that what you were thinking?
No.
Narwhal.
Bye,
buddy. I don't know why I like
you
that.
Find movie. Your dad.
And so at this point, I think as he calls
the line
Hooper,
breaks.
the line snapped as they were trying to help him out. And at this point, they're trying to get back to the shark because they're like full speed ahead and they're trying to catch up to it.
Yeah.
And then the shark pops up.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? It's a shark. And they're like, oh my God.
Because Brody was chumming the waters yet again. Mm-hmm. And I got to imagine that shit smells.
Oh, putrid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And because he was like making a big fuss about chumming the waters. And then all of a sudden the shark pops up and I was like, whoo. And then this is where we get the infamous line.
I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yep.
Because it's a 25 footer.
Three tons.
They keep going up in size every time we're talking about it.
Because Hooper goes, that's a 20 footer. And then Quint goes 25, all 3 tons of it.
And it's circling the boat.
Yep.
And at this point, Hooper is trying to tie on a rope to a barrel so that Quint can shoot at it and they can follow it.
With his like harpoon thing.
Yeah. A lot of tension at this point because it's like coming in fast and Mr. Hooper is not taking his time, but like having trouble like to tie it all together. It's probably pretty thick rope.
Yeah.
You got to tie a really good knot. And so it just reminds me of SpongeBob, the knot, like when he was talking about different knots, the hoop knot, the this knot, the deep knot, the loop knot, the loop-de-loop knot. Okay, sorry. And so they are basically, they end up tagging it, which is a good thing. And so what the whole premise is Quint's mode of strategy is they tag it with that barrel and the barrel will bring it back up even if it goes down, and they'll see the barrel and then like there we go, it's good for stabbing.
Why does it bring it back up? Because
it's the buoyancy, like it's yanking on it the whole time. So it's like eventually it's like a life preserver jacket. It'll bring it back up. And so
but it sinks the barrel.
It sinks the barrel because it's a really big ass strong shark.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like chugging along with the barrel down there under. And so they're just like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna wait till it pops back up.
Yeah, because Brody was like, "Are we gonna go back in now?" And they were like, "Hell no, we're staying out here till we find him again." And then this is where we get the extra long scene.
Yeah, like hours pass. It's now nighttime. It's dark now. They're underneath in the quarters and they're like having dinner and they're talking. They're basically,
it's again kind of like a dick measuring contest where they're just comparing the scars that they have from different animals, different things. And at one point, Quint and Hooper seem like they're getting along. They're drinking to one another's legs because they both have scars on them, kind of thing. And then Hooper at one point's like, "I got one for you, like I'm going to one up you," and he like pulls open his shirt and I was like, "Bro, I can't see anything through your chest hair." And then he was like, "A broken heart," and I was like, "Motherfucker."
Literally. Hey, those hurt.
Yeah, they do.
They cut deep.
And then basically we discover that Quint was on the Indianapolis, USS Indianapolis, which I don't know how factual all of this was to the actual war. But apparently it got shot by 2 missiles and was sunk and off of the coast of like Hiroshima or something like that. And basically all the men had to like float in the water for a long time because it was such a secret operation. They couldn't
call for help or back up or anything like that.
They were out on their own. The conversation got really dark real fast. And basically like he's saying like, all of a sudden the sharks came and people, like I saw my friend there. I tried to wake him up thinking he was just sleeping on some of the wreckage and then realized it kind of capsized and he'd been bitten in half below the waist, which was just like, damn. And then he says 1,100 people went in, but only 316 came out. Sharks took the rest.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's what you call a feeding frenzy.
Yep. And then they go right into singing.
That's what you do because that's the merry time of the sea.
Yep. They're all singing a song now, though. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden we see the barrel pop back up.
Yeah. It's the next morning.
Like, we've got barrel is back.
And oh shit, the shark is coming up because as soon as they're trying to get that barrel back up on the boat, chomp. That shark comes up and it's like
hammering the boat.
Good morning. Nice to meet you. Nice to eat you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to eat you. He's like ramming the boat and the boat's starting to take on water.
He is fucking that boat.
Yeah. He really is.
Literally. Yeah. And the boat is taking on water and they're like, oh shit. And Chief
then they knock something over and a fire starts.
Yeah.
And I was like, as well as a fire? I was like, what the hell's going on?
Well, and then Chief was like, I'm over this fucking shit and starts to go to the radio to call the Coast Guard. But as soon as he's calling the Coast Guard for help, Mr. Quint comes up and breaks the fucking radio.
Yeah, which I was like, why the fuck would you bust the radio?
Yeah.
And they're without light too because the shark ate the like light power switch, basically, which I imagine they were probably without radio as well. I think they were just fucked. I think most of the electronics on the boat
gave out.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of sitting idle there for a while. And basically their only options is like Quentin's like, start pumping out the water. Right.
Yeah.
And then the shark is coming back and it's like circling around.
And Hooper says, oh boys, I think he's coming back.
It's
and
feeding
I was like,
for his normal feeding time.
What his little silly line.
Yeah. And so
for his noon feeding.
They're able to hook up another barrel and they're able to shoot the shark with it. So now we've got 2 barrels on it. And now they're like running up behind him. I don't know how, but they're like full speed ahead chasing the shark. And then it's now under them. And then at this point, they shoot it with the 3rd fucking barrel.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, now this is definitely going to, keep him up. Like he can't go down under with 3 barrels. And what does it do? It literally goes down with the 3 barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes right underneath the boat.
Yeah. Because they got the 2 barrels or 2 of the ropes and they tied it to the boat. And then this shark starts taking the boat down with it.
Yeah, because it's so strong.
And then they look back and this shark's eating its way through the line and he's like pulling the whole boat, which was just like holy shit. Yeah.
Just like taking in the line. And at this point, it's either them, the boat, and the line. So then Quint gets that machete and tries to chop off the line. But then before he can chop off the other line, with that thing, the metal part that you can tie to, it pops off.
Yeah, just popped off anyways, which was like, holy shit. This shark is so strong.
Yeah.
Because it just like.
That's a big boy.
It was a big boat.
Or girl.
Or girl, yeah.
Bruschetta. Bruce or Bruschetta.
Bruschetta.
Yeah. Bruschetta. No cap. And so she is pulling the boat, and at that point they cut her off and they're like, well, fuck. But then I'm sorry, I had jumped ahead of myself, but this is when they get that 3rd one hooked onto her, right? Yeah, the 3rd barrel. And it's at this point goes underneath them, and think at that point
they went under the boat. Yeah, it went under the boat and it starts knocking the boat over.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then how the turntables.
So much is happening.
The shark starts chasing them.
Yeah, as they're trying to get away from the boat. Which at that point too, I was like, wait, how did they get the fucking boat started? I thought we were just sitting here. Yeah. I thought it had too much water to start, but I guess I guess
they got enough
the boat
off.
The shark got it off because it was attacking the boat. I don't know.
Even though they took on so much water, that
they should have been capsized. Yeah. Because they were like in like this like leg calf high of water. But yeah, they end up running off. It's chasing them, but
the engine's sputtering out.
It explodes.
Yeah.
And
the stuff starts literally blowing up.
Catching
and it was just
on
like,
fire.
Oh my God.
And at this point we're like, okay, this boat is motherfucking sinking.
And they are stranded.
Yeah. And so Quinn is just like, here's your life jackets. I guess this is it, guys.
Which neither of them put on.
No.
Which I was like, come on, motherfuckers.
At this point,
especially Brody.
Oh yeah, no. Who's afraid of the water?
Yeah.
At this point, we're down to Plan Z. I guess Plan Z comes later. This is Plan Q. Hooper's like, well, I guess I'm gonna get in the cage and kill it.
Yeah.
Because Hooper looks like the guy who's gonna kill a 25-footer great white shark. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and you could tell Quint was at his wit's end because he actually reached out to Hooper and he was like, so what
would you do?
What can your little gadgets do?
Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, so Hooper's like saying, I'm going to go down there in the cage and because this needle's not going to penetrate its skin.
Yeah.
And we have to put like strychnine something and it's like 220 cc's of it in its mouth or something like that.
He's trying to do it like a more humane way, right?
Yeah.
Is what,
basically poison it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know if that's humane or not, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so he gets in there, he's down in the water. Of course, what's gonna come up? Fucking Bruschetta. She comes up and she starts munching the fuck out of the cage.
Yeah, at first she came like, it looked like she was coming right for him and then goes past him.
Yeah.
But then comes up from behind and then just like starts chomping, and then of course he fucking drops the stick thing immediately. I was like, not even like a good fight, Hooper. Like immediately drops it. It was like, oops. I was like, you had one job. Very girl Rose at the end of Titanic, like yeah, exactly. With the blue, the heart of the diamond of the ocean. And so drops that. Basically that plan is sunk.
literally. And so he ends up, thankfully though, getting away. He's able to get out, even though it does seem before he got bitten because there was definitely blood in the water.
Well, he was also stabbing the shark in the head.
Oh, you're right. So it was the shark's blood.
I think it was the shark's blood.
Got it. But he does get away. He's able to hide behind some like coral reef thing. But poor thing, as he's hiding down there, not him, but the people up top, Quint and Brody are pulling up the cage and they realize he's not in there. But as soon as they drop it, the shark like just jumps on the boat.
Boom. It's
plops
like,
on the boat.
hello, bitches.
I'm here. I want to eat you all.
And man, it sure does. It starts eating.
Oh man.
Quint starts getting eaten.
He is so happy to eat. Like I'm just like, this shark, honestly,
nom, nom, nom.
At this point I was kind of like, you know what, just go enjoy chow down.
Yeah.
Like, you've earned it. Because
you've been stabbed by 3 harpoons.
Literally, yeah, he's been through it and he's just trying to get lunch. And so
been stabbed in the head now multiple times.
At this point, fucking Quint, throughout this whole movie, like at this point I was just starting to like him. And then
I know, I had just started coming around to him.
Me too. And then
I was like, damn it.
He just gets bit in half by the shark. And like,
he just gets eaten.
Not without a fight, but he does get, pretty much just, and it's just like, you see him get a munch, you see the blood coming out of his mouth, all the blood in the water.
You see him kind of get dragged off a bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, well, there goes Quint.
Very cool. Very cool death, honestly.
Yeah, it really was.
Coolest death.
And now Brody's basically left alone on this sinking ship, and he comes across, he sees the compressed air, and he remembers what Hooper told him earlier, that basically you have to be careful with those things or it'll blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he is like, you know
what?
I'm ding, 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 light bulb, feeds him the compressed air.
Yeah, puts it in the mouth, and then the shark takes out of the freaking boat that he's in. And so then at that point, we have what's his name? Brody getting onto the mast of the boat that like hadn't fallen in the water.
Yeah, the tallest point.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I remember earlier when he was looking in the book, it was kind of foreshadowing. He saw like a lifeguard in a mast type of thing. I don't know if you remember that, but I feel like that was like calling onto this moment. But yeah, he's up there, he's ready, and he's got like a stabby thing. It's not not a harpoon, but like a that rod.
Yeah, he's got something
to stab the shark with, and then his shotgun. And so the shark comes up and starts attacking him. So he starts poking at it, trying to, I don't know.
Stabbing. Yeah, he's just stabbing it from that.
To get it away from eating him.
Mast or whatever you called it. And
the shark gets away, but then it comes back, and it's basically this like chicken, or not chicken, what's the like, is that chicken? What's that game when you jousting? They're gonna joust each other essentially.
Yeah, the shark's coming right for him. He's basically a sitting duck.
Yeah.
But then he is like starts shooting. He's aiming for the compressed air, and he starts shooting at the shark, misses it a few times, and then he says,
"Smile, you son of a bitch,"
and blows him to smithereens.
And it's really cool the way just like you see shark pieces falling from the sky. Yeah. It's raining shark. The water is red.
It's raining shark.
Hallelujah.
It's raining shark.
Amen. I was trying to think of something else to say. A fish, real quick, but no.
Fish.
But yeah, the shark in the sky. It's lit up. The day has been saved by Agent Brody.
I love how you're watching
Chief Brody,
as you're watching the corpse float down to the bottom of the ocean, it's such serene music that's happening. You're just watching like this blood, and it's just like, no, it's so nice, and you're just like, okay.
You're like, whoa, this poor. He was a father. He could have been a brother, a child, who knows, a sister, a mother. We don't know the backstory of the shark, and they just like blew it up. But yeah, we're happy because no more children will die by the hands of this shark. Anyways, there will probably be another shark because there's Jaws 2.
That's right.
Unless this was the wrong shark the whole time.
Dun dun dun.
But yeah, and then so we have thankfully Hooper pops up and comes to say hi to Brody, and he's like, "Hi, I'm alive."
And he's like, "Quint," and Brody says no.
Nope.
And I was like, well, guess you don't got to pay him the $10K now.
Really? Honestly, pocket that yourself.
Yep. And then we kind of basically end with the line of Brody saying, "I used to hate the water," and then Hooper saying, "Can't imagine why."
Yeah.
And credits rolling, and we kind of just see them make it back to land.
That's the end of the movie, you guys.
And that's how it ends.
And that's 1975's Jaws.
Ominous, vicious, thrilling.
I'm ready to rate this movie.
It got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And you know what's going to get from me?
An 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
Wow. Yeah, you know, it holds up to the test of time. I
does.
honestly was thinking when I was watching this, like, you know what? I was thinking going in like, I have never seen this movie like in full, but I know like a lot of pieces of it, and it's probably going to be like really old, and like maybe like I'm not going to be so like in like with it, but I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I will say it could have shaved down some time. Like it didn't have to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. It could have been like 145.
Yeah, it didn't need the whole singing scene.
145. A few scenes at the beginning. There was a few scenes in the middle that kind of just struggled along that didn't necessarily have to be there. But that's also a Steven Spielberg movie. He's going to add a lot of details, which I can't, hate him for that. But I am going to give this movie a 5 out of 5 boos.
5 out of 5?
The suspense, the drama, the thrill, the water, the
water,
shark, everything about it. I liked it. I thought it was really good. Yeah. I thought the acting was pretty good. By pretty much everybody. The only person that kind of bugged me a little bit was the wife. Sometimes I was just kind of like, Mary, what are we doing here? Like, what? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I was just like, you were not worried enough as a mom. And then other times I was just like, let this man do his job. And then other times I was just like, you could act a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a little more.
Give me a little bit more.
But, yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good. I thought it was cool. I honestly don't know why I've never seen it before, because I really do like sharks, and I I have a shark tattooed on my body. I'm not going to say like I'm a shark expert, but I happen to know, I feel like a lot of fat sharks and stuff.
You know more about sharks than
like an
I
average
do.
person, I feel like. But also
you're a shark expert,
but also I can
me.
see like this movie did kind of have like a negative effect on sharks and the perception of sharks and like people in the ocean and water and stuff, and it sparks a lot of fear with people with sharks, which is due because they are dangerous creatures that you have to have caution with, but also like we have to understand that like we are literally going into their territory, going into the ocean, like that's their home. So
it's a home invasion story.
It's a home invasion, and you take that risk knowing what could happen. You know, so it just is what it is. It won't stop me from getting in the ocean, and I also know that like if a shark were to attack me, like I wouldn't be like fuck this shark. Like I mean, probably fuck that shark, but I mean not fuck all sharks. You know what I mean? It's just doing what it does, and I really like Jaws.
Well, good.
What's your takeaway?
Do you want some fun facts first, or do you want to do? Let's see. Several decades after the film's release, Lee Fierro, who played Mrs. Kintner, walked into a seafood restaurant and noticed that the menu had an Alex Kintner sandwich. She commented that she had played his mother so many years ago. The owner of the restaurant ran out to meet her, and he was none other than Jeffrey Voorhees, who had played her son.
Oh, really?
Oh,
his name's
that's
Jeffrey
so funny.
Voorhees?
Yeah.
What a name.
I know, for real.
Okay.
And they had not seen each other since the original movie shoot.
Oh, that's funny.
That's fun. When composer John Williams originally played the score for director Steven Spielberg, Spielberg laughed and said, "That's funny, John, really. But what did you really have in mind for the theme of Jaws?"
Man,
Spielberg's later stated,
imagine?
I know, for real. Spielberg later stated that without Williams' score, the movie would only have been half as successful. And according to Williams, it jump-started his career.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked without it. Like, and especially nowadays, everybody knows that song. Like, everybody knows Jaws.
Yeah, even if you haven't seen the movie.
I knew it.
Yep.
Everybody knows
me too.
it. Yeah.
So
you played in band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a band geek, like everybody's played that, and like Legends of Nighthawk, and like what else? What's the other thing that everybody does? Okay, I won't say it now, but I'll remember later.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, sure. Or dun 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 dun. Did y'all ever play that?
Yeah.
One? Yeah, I remember those songs. Okay, up another one.
According to writer Carl Gottlieb, the line "You're gonna need a bigger boat" was not scripted, but was ad-libbed by Roy Schneider.
Ooh, Roy Schneider. That gives BDE.
Not Snyder.
That gives big dick energy, honestly.
That does. And then one last one. According to director Steven Spielberg, that was a weird way that I said his name. The prop arm looked too fake in the scene where Chrissy's remains are discovered, so instead they buried a female crew member in the sand with only her arm exposed.
Oh, I guess that, yeah, sure.
Isn't that funny?
I would not have volunteered for that role.
Yeah, no.
I hope she got paid good that day.
Buried under the sand. But for me, I think it's a classic, so I feel like inclined to give it a 5.
Stop. Get out of here.
But I think maybe I will give Jaws a 4.5.
Okay. We'll take a 4.5. Tell us why it's just a 4. Why did it not get the other 0.5?
I am terrified of sharks, so to me,
boo! No, just kidding.
I know they're just really scary to me. The whole idea of them, and I don't like to go into the ocean. So,
so you could say on a level like for you, this was very terrifying.
Yeah, this was a pretty scary movie, but it's also it's so bizarre to me that it's like kind of considered a horror movie because it was really more of like an action thriller kind of movie. But that classifies as horror, obviously.
No, yeah, I can see it. And there's like, you had mentioned in our previous episode of Psycho, how there was a lot of like comparisons made from Jaws to Psycho. Yeah. You know, which I saw in watching like how we had the POVs and how we had the very like ominous, like you didn't see the shark, but you knew it was there kind of thing.
Which I really did. I really did enjoy how at first you couldn't see the shark. And then, I mean, once you did see the shark, that shark stood the test of time. It still looked pretty real.
I can tell it's like an animatronic, but it still looked very real. Yeah. Like you said. And
a lot of the practical effects, like the legs going down and stuff, looked really good.
Yeah. And I think even a lot of the ominousity of the shark as well is because they had like, you know, real like animatronic prop water sharks, but like they kept malfunctioning. So Steven Spielberg was just like, fuck it. Like we're just going to do like a nuance, like, you know, there but not there kind of thing.
So that way.
And this movie, it was the first also movie to be produced like over water, like kind of situation. So there was a lot of setbacks, a lot of production delays, and a lot of like over budget issues that it faced. But I mean, overall, taking 9 million, I think, to make, or 9 billion was the budget.
It was, I think it was 7.
7?
And then I think it like grossed 9.
Oh, okay,
something
gotcha.
Like that.
The budget was 9 million.
9 million.
And that's what it grossed. It was like 476
billion.
Yeah. Which is a lot of money. But yeah, that is Jaws.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, I really did just enjoy the film. I thought it all really did stand up to the test of time, and the acting never really bothered me at any point. I enjoyed it the whole time. And then the shots and everything and like the nuance of the film, I really did enjoy as well. I don't know what makes me bring it down. I think maybe it was the 2 hour.
Yeah. You know,
but
honestly,
it really didn't even feel like 2 hours when watching it. I was kind of like, okay, this is going pretty fast. Like I had to pause it a few times to like go pee and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'm already like an hour into the movie. Yeah. And it didn't really even feel like I was an hour in already. So I don't know. Maybe I should just give it a 5. I'll stick to my 4.5. I don't really have a particular reason.
4.5, and if you don't need one, and a 5.0, so that makes it like a 4.875.
Sure. That sounds good to me.
Once again, you guys.
It'd probably be a 4.75.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right, 4.75 for Jaws. Once again, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios.
That's right. They always take great care of us.
They do. And we are, if you'd like to listen to their podcast or any other podcast, you can do that at roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right. You can also listen on a slew of other podcasting platforms, the biggest two being
Spotify
and also Apple. But wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that is the only way we can get ahead in this world.
Yes.
And if you want to reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on Jaws or what film you think we should cover for the 80s.
It's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, please reach out to us on our one social media platform, which is Instagram, and that is at
Boobays Podcast, and that's at BOOBAES, because we're Boobays, not your Boobabes.
That's right. And until next time, you guys stick around for our 80s themed that we'll have next.
And until then, bye.
Bye, babe.
Bye, bays.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.